Ayesha here. Okay, so today I would like to talk to you about procrastination and how procrastination holds you back, what's actually going on in your mind when you're procrastinating, and what to do to overcome procrastination and to not allow it to sabotage you going after your goals. All right, so what is procrastination? Procrastination is when you delay or constantly put things off that you know you should or need to be doing. A lot of people may think or feel that procrastination is being lazy, and that's not true. Sure is that a lot of people experience procrastination. Every single person in the world experiences a level of procrastination at some point in their life. Okay, it's like a universal challenge. Okay, and we can procrastinate for many different reasons. It may be because we feel stuck. We actually don't know what to do to take that next step, or that step that we need to take causes us some sort of pain or creates a level of fear. We might fear being judged. You know, we might keep on putting it off because we think, okay, we can work better under stress, which is a lie. So what's happening in the mind when you're experiencing procrastination? So what's happening, it's like you're stuck, okay, in between your current self and your future self. What I mean by that is like you're stuck with your current habits, you're stuck with what you are comfortable in, you're stuck in your comfort zone. And for you to get to where you need to get to, for you to become your future self, for you to achieve whatever goal it is outside of this comfort zone, which requires you to do something new. Okay? Something new, something different. And this new different experience might cause you a level of uncomfortability, a level of pain. And what happens in your mind is when you get that feeling, you go it down into the emotional brain. So when you're in or operating in the emotional brain, you're operating out of fight, flight, or freeze. So you pretty much, as procrastination does, you go into this freeze mode. Okay, and what the emotional part of the brain does, it's there for your survival, right? But what it does is it runs from pain. It does whatever it needs to do to survive, to get away from pain, all right? And get you closer to pleasure. Now, if we think about a scenario when it comes to procrastination, we usually put off things that we feel like we're uncomfortable doing or may cause us pain. So we're going to run away from it because it's causing us discomfort. Okay? You know you've got a deadline. You know you've got to do an essay, or you might have to do an article. But that article, doing that article feels tedious. Okay? It feels long-winded. It feels like a struggle, you know? So your brain is thinking, this is not good. This is going to cause you pain. This is going to cause you discomfort. So what happens? It runs from all these tasks that you need to do. Okay, it creates excuses so that you can get out of doing exactly what you need to do, and that causes that delay. That causes you to keep putting things off, and you kind of justify that in your mind. You kind of feel like the things that you're making excuses for are more important. but then really not. What happens is that you keep putting this off, and in reality, you're actually causing yourself more pain, okay, in the long term. But your brain right now is seeing you not doing those tasks, not getting stressed out doing those tasks, or not feeling that discomfort of coming out your comfort zone doing that task as pleasurable. So it's going to keep you there. Your intellectual brain knows that by doing this task is going to get you to where you need to get to. Okay, but what happens is your emotional brain is much more older, experienced, powerful than the intellectual mind. So it has the power to override the intellectual part of your mind in these scenarios. So therefore you stay stuck. You stay procrastinating. And this can be very harmful to your career, to your professional life, to your emotions. Emotionally, it can be harmful, and mentally, it can be very draining. All right, so procrastination does more often a disservice to us than a service to us. So what do we do? If we're procrastinating and our emotional mind is taken over and our intellectual mind can't override the emotional mind, what do we do in this scenario? What do we do when we're constantly facing procrastination? Right? The first thing you want to do is become aware. When you're aware, then you know there's something that can be changed. That's the first thing you want to do. You want to become aware that you're procrastinating. Okay, you need to, like, when you notice that you're making excuses for not doing something, that's what you want to pay attention to. All right, if you know that you've got a due date for something and you're not doing it, and you're coming to the end of the evening or the end of the day and you're like looking over your to-do list and you're like, do you know what, I haven't done this today, I didn't do it yesterday, that's a sign that you're procrastinating. All right, so you want to become aware. You also want to notice when you are making excuses and pull yourself up on those excuses. As a coach, I sit there with clients and clients will come with the best excuses as to why they won't do something, they didn't do something, and you just got to be like, that's an excuse. When someone else is telling you that's an excuse and can kind of provide a mirror, it's easier to do. But when it's yourself, when you've got to pull yourself up on your own bullshit, it's not as easy, but you need to do it. All right? Because as I said, procrastination in the long run is going to hold you back from achieving your goals. It's going to hold you back from becoming your future self. Okay? And it's going to create you more pain in the long run than it is going to create more pleasure for you. All right? So catch yourself on your bullshit. All right? If you're making excuses, notice that. And it's okay. Just notice that you're making excuses. All right? When you notice you're making excuses, question yourself, ask yourself, am I procrastinating? You don't even really need to know the reason why you're procrastinating. You just need to know that you're procrastinating. All right? Because you could be, for example, procrastinating because you're scared to be judged. You can be procrastinating because it's causing you fear, but that's not the point here. You're just going to be stuck on the problem. What you want to do is know that you're procrastinating, become aware, and create a solution, because it's just going to give you the results faster than just concentrating on the problem. Okay, you know you're procrastinating. Okay, so One, become aware. Second of all, get in the habit of putting whatever it is that you need to get done at the top of your schedule. Prioritize it. Okay? Make that the closest thing to the first thing you've got to do on your schedule. Maybe that's the beginning of the day, for example. Okay? And try and break it down. If you can, break down the task in hand. Okay? So it's not so overwhelming. The more you can reduce the feeling of being overwhelmed, the better. Okay? Because you're reducing the pain associated with the task. Okay, so break it down into smaller bite-sized pieces, bite-sized chunks. Okay, and give yourself literally about 10 minutes. Say 10 minutes, 20 minutes on the task at hand. And just say to yourself, do you know what? I'm just going to give my all to this task, to whatever it is that you need to do for 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, as much as I can. If you get to the end of the 10 to 15 minutes, then, you know, at least you've accomplished something. You've got one step closer to getting that thing done. All right. But what also happens is that once you get into it, it would start to create some motivation. Okay. And once you start creating that action, that motivation, see that you're getting things done, that might push you to do a bit more. With procrastination, it's about taking one step at a time. Another thing that you can do is find ways to hold yourself accountable. Maybe have a coach. Maybe get a friend or a family member that can hold you accountable, that can check in. All right? Limit your distractions. Remove your distractions. If you're constantly being distracted by your phone, switch it off. Put it on silent. Pull it, literally take it and put it in another room if you have to. Another thing that you can do, okay, because we understand that the brain is trying to run away from pain and move to pleasure. What you can do is, while breaking down those tasks, is to give yourself little rewards for each step you get closer to achieving whatever it is that you are trying to accomplish. Because what's going to happen is that your brain is going to associate pleasure to that task. It's going to associate you completing each bit of that task with pleasure, because you're going to be rewarding yourself for completing the task. Okay, so one thing we know is that procrastination is not laziness. Okay, it's a battle of the mind. It's a battle of your emotional mind and your intellectual mind. And the way to overcome it is to become aware. Okay, become aware and strengthen your mental abilities to overcome it by doing some of the tips that are suggested. Okay, you have a choice. You can allow it to rule your life and hold you back, or you can take a stand and say, do you know what? I'm not going to allow this to hold me back. Okay, be kind with yourself. All right, understand what it is. Be kind, be gentle, take your time, but push yourself outside your comfort zone by breaking the steps down and just doing a little bit, one bit at a time. And that will strengthen your mental ability to overcome procrastination. And the more you do it, the better you get at overcoming procrastination.